So I noticed there's over the years there's been a change in media, the way that stories are told, the way that narratives are shaped. Um, there's more bias. There's more race-based stories. There's it's just it's more negative, right? More doom and gloom, I would say. And I don't think it's by accident. Um, I believe negativity draws attention. People love people flock to negative, right? People don't really care about positive or good shit. You know that by internet videos, right? Being on the net, being on YouTube, being on TikTok, Facebook. The negative gets more clicks and views, right? People love to hear about bullshit. People love it. I guess it's American culture. People love seeing people get fucked up. People love that. They can't turn away from it. It's like watching the plane crash or a car stuck on the railroad tracks, right? Before we go to help, we're gonna pull out our phones and record it. It is what it is. I guess it's American culture. So I say that because you know I watch a lot of the first thing I watch in the morning is news. Watch the news, get the weather, then go on about my day. Right? Besides the fact that the media is biased as hell, it's racist as hell too. And I see why our society is the way that it is. Because if you get caught up in American media, um, the news, uh, the our TV shows and movies, it's race is bred into the fabric of this country, right? It's racism. It doesn't matter what it is, right? It's in the way we tell our stories. It's in the way we do our movies. It's in our books. It's in our music. It's in everything, right? The videos that get the most clicks, the people that we highlight the most, right? Now the WNBA season is back, so you already know it's black and white again when it comes to Caitlyn and Angel, right? The media is gonna, you know what I mean? They're doing it again. And people are gonna be like, no. But if you read the comments or you see the coverage and the way that everything is covered, it's race based. And all of these new fans of the sport are there because they're racist as hell. Right? It's because I can see now, no matter what Angel does, she will always be the villain. And no matter what Caitlyn does, she will always be either the victim or the hero. Right? There's no in between. It just is what it is. And that's because she's a white woman. And that's because Angel is a black woman. People will want you to believe that that's not the case. It's not like that. We're past that. We're not. We're not. We're not. And our media will never let us be past that. Especially now. So I would say now that Trump is president, they don't ratchet it up a little bit. They don't turn it up a notch. They don't took it up a notch when it comes to the race play. So I would say our media is leftist, right? Because under Biden, they downplayed stories that were actually racial in nature. And under Trump, the last time, we played up stories that weren't even really racial in nature. But we would go out and seek race-based stories and sensationalize them and blow them up, right? We do that now. Now that Trump is president again, the media is doing it again. Because under Obama, when there was a lot of stories that could have been sensationalized and brought to the forefront that were actually racially motivated, they swept those under the rug because Obama was the president, right? But now that Trump is in office again, we're gonna see more race-based stories, and we're gonna highlight race more. We're gonna make it a race culture war. You know, we want a civil war, or we want, you know, whatever. But when you point shit out like that, people try to make you out to be the bad person. People try to make it seem like you want some racist shit. You race baiting. Man, it's an observation. I can see. I can see, right? I can see what's going on with Dion and his sons. I can see, right? So don't try to make it seem like I'm tripping or that we're tripping by calling it out. See, my thing is, it's so easy to turn a black person into a villain because that's what we're looked at, or that's how we are perceived anyway. So no matter what you do, no matter how good of a person you are, no matter what, you will be turned into a villain in this media. You're looked at as a criminal. You're looked at as the bad guy. That's why somebody like Cassie, right, who was a willing participant in freakouts for like 10 years, was even still getting her cheeks clapped, still busting it open, still doing all that disgusting stuff while she had a husband and a family. I don't know if she had a family at the time, but I know she was with Buddy. You know, I don't really get into what she got going on because, like I always say, to me, she's not a victim of anything. But because of her race, well, or mainly her complexion, people are going to try to make it seem like she's a victim. And plus, she's a woman. Now, to me, if she was a black woman, this wouldn't even be a thing. Because nobody would be trying to hear that shit. Nobody would, if Cassie was black, nobody would look at her as a victim. Nobody. And I'd be the first one to say, us, as black people, would be on the front lines talking about how she's not a victim. Oh yeah, because we do that bullshit. That's why, you know, black fatigue. You feel me? Because we do that bullshit. You feel me? We do that bullshit. If it ain't nothing that we do, we can't wait to start tearing each other down. Right? We be the first ones with the gasoline, burn the nigga reputation down to the ground. Destroy everything a nigga built. Right? Get on these airways and on this internet and all on these apps and shit and go crazy. Right? We do that bullshit. I don't give a fuck nobody say. We do that bullshit. And that's why it's so easy for everybody else to do it. Because we sullied our own image. We kicked dirt on our own name. We the one made being black, trash as fuck. It is what it is. Now, yeah, because Look at the shit that's celebrated, the shit that's posted, right? It's nothing positive. It's always negative shit. Bitches twerking, motherfuckers fighting, motherfuckers blowing all kind of bullshit up out of proportion. Niggas and bitches arguing back and forth about who's the man and what's femininity and what's masculinity. Niggas can't wait to when a nigga get killed by the police or on some racial shit. Niggas can't wait to jump out the window and make it seem like niggas over exaggerating about the shit that we go through in this country. Right? We do that bullshit. They highlight niggas for that. Niggas get paid a lot of money to do that. Okay, so let's say you running from the police. You feel me? Black guy, you doing some dumb shit you shouldn't have been doing. But that's what the courts are for, right? You're supposed to be judged by 12 jurors, or, a group of your peers or whatever the fuck they call it. And they supposed to decide what happened to you. You running away shouldn't end up in your murder, your death. And people blaming you for running away. Because why was you running away? Or as a black person, because you had a gun. Because a black person, you can't have a gun in America, even though it's your Second Amendment right. But as a black person with a gun, man, because gun violence is running rampant in the black community. Right? So a black man with a gun is automatically up to something. He's up to no good. Okay. So when blacks kill blacks, nobody really cares. You're going to prison anyway. It is what it is, right? When whites kill blacks, the black guy had to be doing something to be killed by that white guy. When whites kill whites, you know what I'm saying? It's a tragedy, right? Like, whoa, that should never happen. Shit like that, right? It is what it is. And you can go on down the line with it, with Hispanics, Asians, Muslims, Pacific Islanders, whatever. You go all over down the line with this shit, right? What's the crime and what's the tragedy? What is a norm for those people? They just do that because they're criminals or savages. And and some just it's tragic. It's an anomaly. This stuff never happens, right? And it all depends on race and the color. But when you point that out, people are like, no, that's not what it is. That's not what it is. But in America, everything is about race. We rationalize everything. We make everything about race. And then we pretend like we don't. And then people get on TV that's real smart. Intellectuals get on TV and they talk real smart and stuff. But listen, man, you can't trick me. You know what I mean? I can see behind the veil. I can see what's going on. I can see what's bred into the fabric of this nation, into this country, right? Race plays a big part in a lot of shit. Race pays. But we're going to pretend like it doesn't. We're going to take things that happen every day and we're going to assign them to people, right? But it is what it is, right? It is what it is. But, you know what I mean? Shit crazy.